Hey everybody, you are listening to another Fandom City update. I am Sage of the Fandom City Pod, and we are here today to talk about none other than Ian McDiarmid. If you used to listen to the Star Wars Wastelands podcast, then you know I had a thing for calling him Ian McCrimmid, obviously incorrectly. We're here to talk about his role as Palpatine, aka Darth Sidious in the Rise of Skywalker. Heavy, and I mean heavy spoilers ahead. So, everyone has just jumped to the conclusion that Darth Sidious is going to appear as some sort of Force ghost. That's right, like a Sith Force ghost Emperor. I think that's been 99% of people's conclusion. Well, after reports from Making Star Wars / Jedi Paxis and Bespin Bulletin, you can figure out who had which report. They've all been commenting on it. It would appear as not only is the Emperor in this movie, it is not a cameo. Again, this is your final spoiler warning. According to these guys, and their reports from their sources, nothing is definitive, by the way. Yes, you can take it home 80%, 90%, you name it. However confident you feel about the info that these guys report, you can, I feel like you can take it for what it is, and it's more than likely true. These guys have great accuracy when it comes to reporting things. But it would appear Sidious's role is not no glorified cameo. There's a reason he was on the most recent poster. He may be appearing in the film as early as 20 minutes in, and all throughout the movie. Now, this piece of information we are about to drop, if you've already read it, this isn't news, so this is just us commenting on what we think about this possibility. If you haven't read this information, this is huge spoiler territory, and it kind of comes as like a 2 or 3 parter, and we'll address a couple of those parts now. One of them we're going to address in a future video. Now, this isn't going to make everybody happy. Whenever someone throws out the term retcon, it's bound to piss a lot of people off. I'm not sure this is retconning, but it definitely feels like it. I'm not saying I'm against it either. I'm simply commenting on what's out there, and that is that Emperor Palpatine, a.k.a. Sheev, no, not my mailman Sheev as in the Emperor, a.k.a. Lord Sidious, is in fact still alive. That's right. The current report is that the Emperor did not die at the end of Return of the Jedi. And I know what everyone's thinking. Number one, how the hell does he, first of all, survive falling down the Death Star shaft? 2, the Death Star explodes. It could be, honestly, I don't have a good answer as to how you survive that. I don't. I'd sitting here thinking, yeah, the dude should be dead regardless of how strong he is. But he is one badass motherfucker. And, you know, sometimes these things happen. With movies. And I actually like the take of he's still alive. Now, he's apparently a decrepit old man and on his deathbed, more or less. And in the movie, his goal, again, more spoilers here, is to unite Rey and Kylo to be the Emperor and Empress of his empire that he's built, a.k.a. that fleet of Star Destroyers that you see with the Death Star tech and the Sith Troopers. I know what you're thinking. Oh, here we go, more Reylo crap. I'm not necessarily sure that is the case. This could go many of different ways. I would say that the most important thing to remember here is, again, until you see it on screen, none of this is definitively factual, but I would take it as probable, extremely probable. These guys are rarely wrong with what they report. And well, it appears to Kylo and Rey that this is the Emperor's goal. The Emperor has another goal behind it, and he's going to use the two of them to re-energize or rejuvenate himself. There is one scene that's described by, I believe it was Bespin Bulletin, and later commented on by the Making Star Wars guys. So picture this big, like, machine arm and the Emperor attached to it. Now, there's not really indication as to what the Emperor looks like, even if he has a full body anymore. I think it'd be really cool and gruesome if he only had, like, half of his body and he was more or less being kept alive in a tank sort of thing. It's described along those lines anyway. And again, this comes back to the whole Matt Smith thing. We've heard body jumping rumors, and but up until recently, we heard nothing about the fact that the Emperor was still actually physically alive, meaning that the Force was never brought back into balance after Return of the Jedi, which is going to piss some people off. It really is. And, you know, it kind of leaves a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, too. Yet, I love the idea that he's still actually alive. I don't really know what happens here, though. There's reports of he gets into a battle, physically, but I have to assume that Matt Smith is going to play into this somehow. Either he takes over Matt Smith's body or rejuvenates himself into his younger self, and that's Matt Smith. I can't imagine we're going to see Ian wield a lightsaber again. But Sidious, the character, somehow does in this movie. So there you have it. Sidious, a.k.a. Sheev, no, not my mailman, but rather the Emperor, is still alive and did not die in Return of the Jedi, according to the reports that are out there. How do you guys feel about this? Comment below. Remember, this is heavy spoilers. There is more to this, a lot more that we're going to post in a future video. Again, these are not our sources. These are not what we've been told personally, but rather we're commenting on everything that's been going on with Jedi Paxis and Bespin Bulletin and Making Star Wars, and they're very reliable guys. And Making Star Wars, I mean, Jason is spot on with this stuff 90% of the time. Doesn't mean he can't be wrong. Maybe all this is wrong. That's why this is rumor/spoiler. But how do you guys feel? The Emperor surviving Return of the Jedi and is still alive in the unknown regions, building his own empire. You know, yeah, he'd be an extremely old man, and that's how he's described in his hundreds. Are you okay with it? Do you hate it? Do you love it? The Emperor still being alive in the Rise of Skywalker, still being the big bad at the end of the story. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. We'll definitely get back to you. Don't forget, you can catch Fandom City Pod Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern, recording live, or you can catch the edited version on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and a bunch of other places Fridays. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. We would love to have your support. Click the notification bell so you're informed of all of our future content. And we do have more content coming this week. More heavy spoilers regarding the Rise of Skywalker. If you go search yourself, you can find them out there. But if you wait, we'll give you our take on them. For everybody at Fandom City Pod, I'm Sage. And may the Force be with you.